Ready? Hell yeah.
Yep, hell yeah. Episode 6. Today is a kind of a different week. It's crazy because, I mean, you weren't complete injury level. What was your Asia score? How paralyzed were you when you first got paralyzed?
I was pretty paralyzed. I couldn't move my legs at all. I think I was Asia C or D, level T11 or T12.
Mm-hmm. And for people who don't know what that is, when you're first paralyzed, they determine how paralyzed you are by Asia A, B, C, or D.
Asia is basically a scoring sheet, and based off of your two pathways, the sensory or motor pathway, they run particular tests, and based off of how
one
you
of them
answer.
is shoving a finger up your butt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
which is super not cool.
Super invasive.
Especially I got 10 Asia tests. I think they were exploiting me.
Yeah, man. And then with the sensory, they take a cotton swab and they take a needle prick and they test basically different dermatomes. And the dermatomes on one's body are basically where each vertebrae is connected to a part of your body, and based off of how you interact with the area that they're touching is how they can score you.
Yeah, so you were Asia C, and you couldn't walk, couldn't stand. Couldn't move your toes, couldn't lift your foot, couldn't do anything at all. And this week, you left your wheelchair at the PT place we go to, Core, on Monday, and have just been on arm crutches all week, which is crazy. That's super badass. So, congratulations on literally going from spinal cord injured and paralyzed to walking again. That's miraculous, and the story that everyone dreams of, and it was through just a tremendous amount of hard work. I see every time I've pretty much ever been to Core, you've been there just grinding, doing all sorts of different varying degrees of difficulty physical therapy work. So it takes a tremendous amount to get to where you are. And I just want to dive into that for a little bit and talk about what the week was like. And just broad general question: how was it being wheelchair free for the first time in 3+ years?
It was exhausting.
Yeah,
it was really exhausting, and I don't know. It was frustrating, and it just brought a lot of feelings of. Obviously grief, because of realizing how there's two sides to it. So there's the grief side, and then there's the champion side of whoa, I actually did this, I'm doing this. But the grief side tends to kind of take over more so, because things are just hard, a lot harder. Things are hard in a wheelchair, but you adapt, and you get used to how to run things in a wheelchair, and then that gets taken away, and now you have to figure it out again. Mm-hmm. And you have to figure it out without being able to use your hands, because I'm holding onto arm crutches. It's not that I have free hands and stuff. So that part was probably the hardest part. And then, I was on my feet for extended periods of time throughout the day, which is nice. And, it's great. It's super great to be on my feet and stuff. But also there was a lot of pain that kind of came with it because of just not being used to it.
What was in pain?
My feet were hurting a lot, actually.
Oh.
Which is great because of the proprioception and being able to tell that my feet were there and stuff. But it felt, after, it reminded me of really long hours at the bar where we were working 16+ hours, and my feet are just mush by the end of the day. That's what it felt like. And then it reminded me realize, back when I was working in the bar and was working those long hours, how it came so easy that back then. And now, being on my feet for, like I said, not all day, but for a good portion of the day, and my feet were hurting, I was like, damn, I feel like a little bitch.
And were you out and about doing shit?
Not entirely.
Did it hinder you,
from going and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I didn't go to the store. I made sure to like prep everything before sending off my wheelchair to core. But I mean, I did go to CrossFit one day. I did go to the gym yesterday, like the first time doing like a workout standing up and stuff, or like without the chair. I did go to like the sauna and things like that. So it didn't like hinder me too much in that regard. I do try without. At home is really where it was challenging, because when I do go out and about, granted, I do still go with my wheelchair to the gym and to CrossFit, just because it's easier to pick weights up and things like that. But if I'm like going out with friends or going out to dinner, like I do use the arm crutches, just not in terms of like, if I really want to be like efficient in the workout and stuff, I haven't yet. This is my first time getting out of the chair and just using my arm crutches and things like that.
Mm-hmm. That's so badass though. It's still super cool.
Thanks.
You know, not being wheelchair bound for the first week ever. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I had to really, thank you. I had to really get put into check of people reminding me, you know, they said that you weren't ever going to do this and now you're doing it. And so it's going to be like frustrating and stuff, but to just remember that, you know, it's been 3.5 years since you've done this. And so it's okay that things are moving, you know, that are slower, and it's okay to just sit in the frustration of it all.
Yeah.
But it's hard when, you know, when you're being a productive person, or you're used to being a productive person, you finally kind of get used to being productive in the wheelchair. And then Mallory, which is the director at Core, she's like, let's rip away the wheelchair and leave it here so that you're not at all using it and you got to figure it out. And then now it's taking productivity back down to a whole nother like starting point, right? And there's like this tension of thinking that it's always coming back to thinking I have to be doing something other than what it is that I'm doing, right? So I wasn't super efficient on the computer this week. I wasn't like really productive doing things that I know I need to do, because I am obviously I'm just not in that place. But it was hard for me to like sit in the experiment, to sit in the exploration, to sit in the adventure that I was in, to be patient with myself, going and doing things that are really out of my comfort zone and giving myself the patience to like figure it out. I had a really hard time with that this week, and just being okay with like not being what I know that I am, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. Patience is like my hardest thing. And even, I mean, this is the thing I struggle with almost the most in the world is patience. Like not having patience is the reason that like I'm not where I want to be in life. As far as like, I wish I had like a podcast that I'd started 5 years ago, but I'd started podcasts and started YouTube channels and did things, but I just didn't have the patience
to carry it out.
Yeah, I just wanted results faster than I deserved them. And yeah, so I get not having patience. I mean, that's not really the same type of patience, but
in a sense it is.
I mean it's also just giving yourself grace.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, and that's hard, because I like when you think of society and what society like pushes on you, and you know that we always need to be like being productive, and if you're not being productive in the sense of, you know, whether it's business or, you know, commerce, making money, things in that regard, then you're basically a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, and you're in a space where you're in the early stages of launching a brand new business.
Right.
So that's like the super productive time, where like
right.
If you literally aren't being productive, it's like guaranteeing your business is going to fail. There's no choice but to be productive when you're starting a new business. So
exactly,
you know, you have real life pressures to adhere to, but you just got to, you know, realize all of the work is going to be there next week too. So
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And so it's sitting in that space. I listened to a podcast, and that space is like that liminal space of the, you know, the transitioning period of where you were to where you want to be, and you just don't know what's happening in the in-between.
The what space?
It's called liminal.
Liminal?
Like subliminal, but like it's just called liminal.
Isn't subliminal like a hidden thing?
Yeah, so then the liminal space is like the gray area.
Yeah. Weird. Not to go into the etymology of a word, I don't know, but I just don't understand
I listened to it was a neuroscientist talking about it, and it was the first time I ever heard it, but it really resonated with me because I think a lot of us, especially, I think we all deal with liminal spaces in our lives, and especially us in our situations, as far as from the time of injury when our lives got totally flipped upside down into this unknown space of what the fuck is gonna happen.
I'm in a fucking never-ending liminal space then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 100%. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But, and then other examples of liminal spaces would be, you graduate from grad school and you haven't gotten your job yet. So that space of looking for a job, trying to figure out where you want to go, things in that regard. Or, you get engaged and you aren't yet married. And so the in-between space of figuring out, the whole marriage or wedding day stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's what liminal spaces are. And the way that I can see, for us, our liminal spaces, from who we were to who we want to be or who we were supposed to be, as far as life before our injury and life now, and where life is taking us. It is a forever liminal space. And then I think there's liminal spaces within the liminal space, if that makes sense.
Yeah, from a no-name tiny podcast to super successful podcast.
Yeah, exactly. This is a liminal space right now for us, as far as, going and exploring this space and seeing what happens.
I'm gonna drop this new vernacular on people all the time.
Yeah, do it.
I got a new word.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging, hard thing about? What was the number one most frustrating thing that might not have thought of with the arm crutches versus the wheelchair?
Carrying things. I mean, I thought about it for sure. That's why I think I put off not being in the wheelchair for so long. It's just the act of carrying stuff, the not being able to. I really had to figure things out. I mean, as far as feeding the dogs and stuff. I mean, I can thankfully my kitchen isn't super wide, so I can hold on to one side and walk over and grab whatever I need to grab and then walk back. But if I wanted to...
Oh, you mean without the arm crutches? You can just...
Yeah, I can just grab onto the countertops or the side or the refrigerator and things like that. But and then at some point in time, to be able to eat, I mean, there were points where I was eating standing up at the countertops because I couldn't get my food to the table because it was hard, or to my computer area, because it was just difficult. I could carry bowls because I can grab my thumb around it and then carry the bowl with the arm crutch, but plates that had to be this I couldn't carry. Then I realized I could bring the chair from the kitchen table and pull that out and then put the food on it and then scoot the chair all the way to the table and then grab the stuff, put the stuff on the table.
That sucks. I hate even listening to that. That's so annoying.
It's just things like that
that drives me crazy. It's already so inefficient to be in a wheelchair. And not be able to carry my drink and my plate at the same time.
Yeah, so then I had to figured that part out. But otherwise, I would have just been eating standing up the whole entire time, or carrying things, putting things in Tupperware and then closing it and then putting it in my backpack and then going and walking around. The stupid shit. It's just the stupid shit like that makes things super annoying. That. And then it goes obviously in deeper again to the whole fact of missing out or missing simplicity and missing how easy things are or used to be, and how so many people take it all for granted, and then they're just lazy people that don't do anything, and it's dang, if only you really knew.
Well, I mean, I think about how much I was taking for granted being in the wheelchair 2 months ago versus now with both my femurs snapped. Yeah. And all of the health issues that I've been dealing with, and the low fucking testosterone, which is one of the hardest parts about it, is just going through all of this extra challenge with depleted testosterone. I had no idea. Before experimenting with exogenous testosterone, how much that dial moves your well-being and just
how much of an impact it has.
Yeah, especially on just confidence and like decision making and knowing what to do next, and just your motivation to like the reward of actually doing stuff. Like I go work out now and I'm just like, why am I even doing this? This sucks. I hate it. Like I just have I have no drive or motivation to like be what I theoretically know what my goals are and know what I want to accomplish, but like there's so little drive to get there. It's crazy. But I was a tangent, but
no,
I took
fine.
for granted
Vent
like
it out.
normal testosterone and just not having a giant, grotesquely like fat, swollen leg, and being able to. The ortho lifted a bunch of the restrictions that I had, but before, not being able to bend over, they told me I couldn't bend over 90 degrees. I couldn't bend my like hips up to put my shoes on at 90 degrees, and like I took all that for granted when I was just in my normal wheelchair journey for the last 5 years. I didn't.
Yeah, it's like the bar. Not that the bar like it gets lower for things we take for granted, but it kind of like it does, in the sense of there are things that we don't realize we're taking for granted until they're like ripped away, and then we realize, oh my gosh, I miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm just whatever it is, self-consumed enough to take everything for granted until it's ripped away from me.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, most definitely.
I'm terrible about that. I just don't think. I am grateful. I do. Show a lot of gratitude and think about the things and people and like things I do have in life, but you just can't show full gratitude towards it until you get it taken away, and then when you get it back, it's like, now I can really be grateful for this.
Yeah,
I can really sink into that gratitude and like not just say I'm grateful, like the feeling of gratitude permeates my body, like.
Yeah, like your heart like expands and gets like really big of what that feeling. That's what that feeling is.
So it's just made a weird. Okay, we're good. Did the audio change for you a little bit? Oh, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this past week was very humbling for me in the sense of being okay being in the wheelchair. Not to say it forever, but for the time that I have been, it's okay, because it does make things easier to be able to excel in other parts of one's life. And, eventually I will be fully out of it, but I could just say it was just very humbling.
Yeah. So that's what I try to remind myself every now and then, like, to be super grateful for being paralyzed in 2019. With like incredible wheelchairs to like technology to have access to, the functional electrical stimulation technology that they have now, and
the
just
new X stuff,
the knowledge about just paralysis in general and the access to information. Like, was paralyzed at a time when I had full access to information. Now if you got paralyzed recently and you're watching this, I mean, you have ChatGPT. Come on. Like, how amazing is that compared to...
As long as you know the questions to ask.
Yeah, I mean, even a couple of years ago, I mean, even though there's abundance of information, it's still, the information on paralysis is really limited and hard to find on the internet. But ChatGPT just blew that out of the water. Now all of it's just right at your fingertips.
Yeah, it really is, and which is amazing. And as long as people know how to take that information and apply it into their lives without, somebody telling them that this is what you have to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's also a hard part, because there's an abundance of information, but I think there's a very much a lack of application in the world that, we can gather all the information that we need, but what we do with it really determines the outcome of whatever it is we're trying to, accomplish.
Yeah, I'm super guilty of being like an information gatherer.
Oh yeah, I think most of us are
taking action on something.
Consuming.
I've really realized with my mental health, like I have to have a balance between consumption and production. Like I need to do things like this and get ideas out of me, or whether it's writing, like I was writing and working on my book all the time before. or making YouTube videos. Like, I have to do things that are like producing informational output when I'm taking, because I love listening to podcasts and reading about stuff, and like I'm just consuming information constantly.
Yeah, and it's hard not to. We live in a very consumer world.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's impossible not to for me. I get so bored so easily now. If I'm even like, I am on the oh man, I feel so guilty for not remembering his name, because he's brought me so much value throughout the time I've listened to him. He's like a Harvard business professor that like lectures about happiness. Super famous guy, like a bald guy with glasses, and he's like
bald guy with glasses.
Yeah, he's like pretty jacked for his age. Anyways, he always, I'll think of his name. I just feel guilty because
Is it Andy Elliott?
No, he's
I guess
not.
He's not bald.
No, he's a Harvard business professor as well. This guy's like super, way more chilled out than Andy Elliott. No, but anyways, he always lectures about how it's so important to let yourself be bored sometimes, and
because that's how, like, where the creative juices flow.
Yeah, and like where your brain like actually wires in ideas, and like you just have to give yourself time to, like, your brain's not meant to be just bombarded with information 24/7.
Yeah, we like consume. I mean, way back, we consume like, I don't even know, like 1,000 times. 7,000 times more information than what it was like back then, like way back.
I consumed that much more information than I did when I was a teenager. I was bored all the time.
Yeah,
go on walks and go on runs and do things without, like, I would listen to music a lot, but that's a little bit different. But even then, I would have times without music. I wouldn't constantly have earbuds in or headphones on, and now it's like I have to really remind myself to like take these fucking headphones off, and because I'll just listen to shit all day. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do the dishes, and there's like 4 dishes to do. I'm like, better find a podcast to listen to.
Yeah, well, then it makes you wonder, why don't you just want to sit with your thoughts?
I mean, I know why, because
they're not good ones.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I sit with my thoughts for a short period of time, I tend to focus on things that I need to do, things that I haven't done. Like, I tend to focus on like goal-oriented stuff. But if I don't listen to anything for a while, then if I'm not consuming anything, like, then within like an hour, I get into like a pretty creative, like, idea producing space where I've like worked through all the stress thoughts that I have.
I feel
and that. Like, then I'm happy sitting with them. But it's just getting through that, like, and I think it's like a buildup of like, I'm so like consistently distracted, or like either talking to people on the phone or listening to something, that when I get a quiet moment, my brain's like, these are all the things that you're ignoring.
Yeah.
And they like kind of have to work through them before I can get to
the chill part.
Yeah, the chill part. So super, what is it? Smooth transition here. But what do you think about our boy, whose name is escaping me right now? The guy that got shot.
Oh, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. I was just seeing CK, and I kept thinking of Calvin Klein. I was like, it's not Calvin Klein. It's not Calvin Klein.
No, it's not.
What do you think about the whole thing? So this is probably being released a couple weeks later, so we're a little late to the game. This is probably out of the
hype time.
Yeah, we've probably discovered that it was, we've probably discovered so much more about it since then. But this is the day after, right? He got killed on Wednesday, and it's Friday right now.
Yeah, so on the 10th, and today's the 12th.
Yeah, this has been one of the craziest things that has happened. I've been kind of tried to be off social media for a lot of the time in the last couple years, but I've been on social media just kind of letting myself chill this week because I'm not working. I'm just focusing on healing, and I'm just super depressed, low testosterone boy. So I've just been on social media way more than I should be. And this has been like one of the craziest social media things I've ever seen. Like it's been wild.
I think it's super sad what has happened, and the masses that have come out and talked about it. I mean, I have videos popping up all over on social media of whether it's them speaking on, you know, the sadness of it, or if it's them speaking on the ideological reasons behind it, or the you know, political side of things. Whatever it is, people are just coming out and, you know, talking about all kinds of reasonings behind, you know why it happened, or, you know, XYZ. And I think it's really crazy that it's all over social media, and that little kids can see what happened, and that it's very traumatizing with the visuals that are all over, you know.
Well, I didn't even expect it. I was just watching, like I didn't read the caption or anything. And I was just watching a video, and like Charlie Kirk is on my feed regularly enough. Like I've seen him over the years. I didn't know a ton about him or anything, but I just...
Every once in a while he popped up.
Yeah, I'd always just seen him. And so I just was mindlessly watching it. And I was like, and then the next thing I know, I just see this guy get shot straight in the neck with a high-powered rifle.
Yeah.
And it was like rushed to the hospital.
Blood
and I was
spewing everywhere.
Certainly. And they're like, we don't know if Charlie Kirk's... Like I saw it right when it happened. And like, don't know if Charlie Kirk's dead. I was like, he's definitely dead. Like he got shot. I've never seen someone... I've seen a lot of people die on social media, but like never seen someone that I know and have seen and like, you know, kind of know about die. And it was like pretty fucking jarring thing to just come into your life in the middle of the day. And like it was like I was definitely like I wouldn't even say that I liked him or didn't like him. Before, I just was kind of neutral. I had no idea that he was hated, but I mean, I was emotional when I saw him die, just because I enjoyed seeing his debates, and he seemed really smart and like seemed like someone that I would really like if I met him or something. Yeah. And I was so shocked by how hated he was, because I always thought his content was like pretty benign, and like people have said. Even people I know and am close to have said like, oh, he spread so much hate and stuff. And I didn't see that when I watched his content. He definitely...
No, he just like talked about, I think he just like spread a lot of, you know, talked about a lot of things that irritated a lot of people, because it just went against the grain of what, you know, everybody wants to see.
Yeah, but they're his beliefs, and he's just defending his beliefs. And
which he has every right to.
And he... always defended them. He's doing the opposite of nearly everyone else, like who has what a lot of people in America would consider like really extreme. You know, he's pretty extreme, like far right. I don't want to say that because it's a negative context, and I don't know that much about his political views, but he would have been considered like very right wing, and
no, I think
most other people who are that far right wing are just blasting exactly what they think and saying they're right. And he was having like an open dialogue and like defending his positions,
but also being curious on other people's positions.
Yeah, he seemed like it just, and like, so I was really shocked by the hatred.
I was too. I didn't look at comments for a while until I saw people saying, you know, there are people saying that like he deserved what he got, and I thought, there are people saying that, and there's no way. And then I went to comments, and yeah, sure enough, there were a bunch of people like talking shit, saying how like this guy that literally just died, who has 2 kids and a wife, deserves everything that he got, and that to me is insane.
This is the first. So when it happened, this is the first person I saw post anything positive like about wanting to die, and I was shocked. It was just some random comedian I follow called Troy Bond, And oh, he deleted the post. That's hilarious. I knew he was going to do that, so I screenshotted it because it was amazing. Because it was so shocking to me.
Yeah.
It said, "Holy shit! I just saw the senseless killing of Charlie Kirk, and I do not care. No, but for real, I might believe in God because they shot him in the throat, and that was God telling him to shut the fuck up. I wish I believed in heaven, so I knew Charlie Kirk was not going." And I was like, whoa, what the fuck did this guy do to you? And I was so, like, shocked by it. And then do something that matters, like jack me off a little. He's responding to a comment here. I pray for your salvation. And he responds, do something that matters, like jerk me off for a little bit for my salvation. Charlie Kirk prayed for a long time. Doesn't seem to work. And then some other really horrible things, but this one really got me. Like this is the worst thing that he said. He said, okay, last thing I'll say is Charlie Kirk was a father and husband, and that is absolutely tragic because he also was a giant piece of shit. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And I was just
That's
like,
insane.
I thought this guy had like a personal beef against Charlie Kirk, because that was like the first post that I saw. Obviously it got a lot of attention,
right.
So Instagram showed it, and I started scrolling down, and that's when it started coming out of like all of these other videos of people. There was also this lady that posted a video of like thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk's family, and was like super happy about it. And then some other chick found this woman's husband and posted the husband's business, and he had like an electrician business, and I was like, oh, people have to have gone and like messed with the Google reviews. And sure enough, he had like 5.8 thousand reviews of like 1-star reviews that all just said thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. And I was like, this is
so fucked up.
It is so fucked up. How can you mock someone who's just died? Like, fuck off. Like, that's crazy.
It's insane. I mean, and it makes me speechless. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's hard to like express words about it because it's really dehumanizing somebody's entire livelihood that had no harshness towards anybody personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, he
like that guy, like I mean, unless they had like some beef in high school or something. I mean, what was the whole
some serious beef?
Like for real? Like I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
I can't imagine saying any of those things about anyone that just died, let alone publicly saying them.
And having the balls and the audacity to do it. I mean, the internet really shows people's true colors.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And to have, and maybe people do it to like get the attention and get like the views and the likes, whatever. But even then, that's even more fucked up.
I know. I mean, and he is a comedian, but like that's not comedy. Like that's taking it.
No, like, that's not comedy at all. Especially like maybe wait a year and then maybe say something, you know? I don't know. But I'm just saying, like not even then. It's still not. It's still like it's the dehumanizing of somebody getting murdered and just talking shit based off of their beliefs. Your beliefs don't have to match with my beliefs, and my beliefs don't have to match with, you know, somebody else's beliefs. But it doesn't give me the right to go and fucking kill them.
Yeah, and this whole thing just like it shocked me. Like I knew we were divided as a nation. I knew that, you know, I know all that, but I just didn't know that it was like this divided. Like where like. There's people willing to assassinate a online debater of politics, and that so many people would celebrate it with like such intense like vitriol and conviction that it was a good thing. And I think it really marks I think this is going to mark like kind of a turning point in because I would say that I was liberal. I was not political ever, but I was liberal leaning like my entire life. I very much I didn't think about it much. It was just not an interest of mine. I don't give a, I just find it all. I just don't, I've never cared. I didn't even know who Joe Biden was until he was president. Like, I didn't even know he was part of Obama's thing. Like, I don't know anything about politics, but or like policy or like U.S. government really. But the like, I would say like my views on most things were more liberal leaning, and over the course of the last like 5 or 6 years, like I've staunchly veered away from it. Like, I don't want to be any, and this has been, I think a lot of people are gonna, really pull back from that whole like extreme neoliberalism that's happening. Like the new, like not the core values of what it means to be liberal versus conservative, but the new liberalism of like the extremism that was seeming like more and more people going to. I think a lot of people are going to pull back and be like, whoa, I don't want to be a part of this. Like this mocking of someone's death and like coming out and like celebrating the fact that he got shot in front of his wife and children and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I think it really showed kind of that the extreme sect of like neoliberals. I think it really showed their true colors. Like I think there's something inherently flawed with it. I agree. I have to. Like if that's how you react to something, then I just have to think like your fundamentals, like your foundation's off.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it also, this kind of ties in. On social media, I made a post yesterday, my first time going to the gym and stuff, obviously everything happening and going on. I was reluctant and kind of hesitant to create a post, but I said, whatever, I'll just go ahead and create it. And the caption of it was based off a feeling, like having feelings. Like I didn't feel like going to the gym at all yesterday. I didn't want to, but I made my ass go and do it because, fuck my feelings. I have goals and we can't let these things, deter us from where it is we want to go. But if we, dissect it and based off of the feelings, I think a lot of people get their feelings or have their feelings so butthurt these days that they're so sensitive that they can't handle somebody else's truth, and that I feel like is what is being shown as far as him going and debating people on what they believe and what they think, and not in a vicious or malicious way, but in a very curious, wanting to understand, and also posing questions to make the other person think about what it is that they are actually believing in. And I think that that's what we should do as people. I think that that's important for us to be able to pose questions and ask things that make us start thinking critically about things, right?
Well, that's where neoliberalism and all the principles, whether you want to, like the arguments about, the trans stuff with dosing kids and with hormone blockers and things,
right?
Like all of the like main arguments, like where they fall apart is like the whole neoliberal thing is based on feelings. Like it's not based on facts and based on truth. It's just based on like, I don't like the way it makes me feel and that's my argument. Yeah. And that's why it's wrong or
exactly.
Right. Like it's just because, and it's like, no, it's like there's real reasons why things are right or wrong.
Right.
And you can dissect it.
Yeah. And feelings don't invalidate what is.
Yeah.
They don't invalidate what is. I'm sorry that you feel a type of way, but they don't change what actually is. And I think that that's a big thing that people have a really hard time accepting. And I had just talked about, I made a post a while back, actually one of the days that I left seeing you in the hospital. But I had talked about, people taking for granted their bodies and stuff and that they should be thankful, XYZ. But at the end of it, I had said that, people being kind of sensitive in the fact that, if you have a friend and they're fat, like you should tell them that they're fat. And you should be the one that says, hey, like, I think you're fat. And if you have a problem with it, then, maybe it's true. And you just are not okay with the fact that that's what's true, right? And that's just a you problem, and it's still a you problem, and it's not a me problem. I'm just trying to help you get to the other side of it so that this isn't a continued problem, right?
Truth is the most important thing. I'm realizing that more and more as I get older. Like, if you can't live in the truth and speak your truth, and hold your truth up to scrutiny, then you can't, you're at a serious disadvantage in the world.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I mean, I think it's hard for us to try to get people to see the truth inside of things, especially when their feelings are blocking it. It's like this this lens, or this lack of better words, but like a veil of feelings that don't want to get you to the truth.
Well, hunting predators is a super great example of that. Like, people don't have any problem if you post a picture like that you hunted a deer.
Right.
But like, I posted a picture of this bear that I shot, and like, people were like so disappointed in you, like it's an absolute shame. Yeah. And I'm like, is like, somehow you hunting is objectively good. Like, you can prove through, like, you could easily have a debate between people, and like, hunting is a good thing. It's part of, number one, it's a part of our lineage and history, and something that we've done
biological
forever. And number two, like hunting and the revenue it brings in, and just the management of animals, we've already messed up the ecosystem. We've already gone in there and like are building houses and doing all sorts of things and farming in ways that are far more damaging than hunting is to wildlife populations. And hunting's objectively just a good thing. There's no way I would debate anyone on that, and like, they would lose the argument if they said hunting's a bad thing. And hunting predators is a good thing. Like, it's not always a good thing, but in general, like, killing a bear in Idaho is at the very least not doing harm to the ecosystem. It's super well managed. Like, bear populations are super well managed, and there's bears out there, and there's plenty of them that they're not being, their populations aren't being damaged. They're staying consistent despite the fact that we're hunting them. So it's just a feelings-based thing. Like, I don't like the way this makes me feel, therefore it's bad.
So let me try and take it away from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, you're bad but if I post a picture with a deer, somehow it's not bad. Like, how is, like, so deer's lives are worth less than bears' lives? Like,
it's like selectively choosing what it is, like, being okay with, versus just sticking to one main road and just being firm on that road. Like, if you don't want people to hunt, then you can't say, not you, but I'm just saying in general, if people don't want others to hunt, then you don't want any hunting happening, and but selectively choosing, it's okay to hunt this animal but not hunt that animal. I mean, where is that line drawn?
You don't know anything about nature and the, you don't know what's going. If you think hunting in America is a bad thing, you just don't know what's going on, and you're just making an emotional decision on something without the facts. And that was just the main example of just like, I don't want to argue for why hunting's so great, but it's just it's just such a good example of like where people's emotions override the facts every time. Like, a lot of people's do, especially with like some guy killed like a problem cougar in Colorado that, he lawfully got a permit and went and shot this cougar that had like killed a couple dogs and stuff in the neighborhood. Or I don't know if it was dogs or pets. He didn't get in any trouble. He just, on social media, people were saying that like his kid should
not be with him.
No, like, watch him get killed in front of them. Like, someone should kill you in front of your children, like you killed that cougar, because, so they can know that like how evil their dad is. And like, someone should say, like, the people were like vying to get his kids taken away from him and stuff, and he just went and shot like a large horrible predator that's like killing people's animals. And like, there's plenty of cougars. Like, they're not in those
and also, what if we didn't have what if we didn't have food markets and stuff, and you needed some food for your kids? What are you gonna go do? Oh, I don't want to live, so my feelings, I don't want to, I don't want to. How do you navigate that, right?
And just shit's fucking the planet up way more than the dudes going out and killing 100%. A couple animals a year. Like, we're just commercial fishing on like such a disgusting, fucked up scale, just massacring the giant populations of ocean fish. Like there's building neighborhoods and farming is far worse for animal populations than hunting,
right?
Individual animals is. So
yeah,
it's just basing your opinions on something off how it makes you feel is just such a low fucking IQ way. There's no other way of saying it. It's a low IQ way of existing in the world. Like
100%. I agree. Speaking of talking about feelings and stuff, I posted that picture yesterday, and somebody had commented. I'll have to pull it up and read it because they ended up deleting it. But the comment that they left was it was really interesting. I didn't really know how to respond to it because
it sucked. It made me mad. You sent it to me.
Yeah, I need to find it. Okay. So it had said, "Girl, I know you're a Christian, and the fact that you haven't spoke out about CK and what has happened. What's going on? You have a semi-large platform, and as a Christian/paraplegic sister in Christ, I'm saddened you haven't said anything. I admired your boldness, tenacity, perseverance, etc., but to not speak out on something so horrific to the country, to the Christian community, nah." and I mean, I don't even know.
Shut the fuck up.
Number one, like, why do we have to talk about something that, what if we need time to also just process what's happened?
It's the day after it happened. Maybe I don't know how I fucking feel about it yet.
Exactly. And then also, somebody just lost their husband. Somebody just lost their dad. Somebody just lost their best friend. And you want my 2 cents on what I think about the situation? I mean, I don't need to put my 2 cents into it. I don't need, and especially for somebody to like is awaiting what it is that I'm thinking about it. I mean, it's not my place to say stuff. I don't have to say things. I think it's really horrible and I think it's really awful. And I mean, and I had said, like, check yourself. Don't throw Christianity in my face, because I'm pretty sure, we're not supposed to be talking about it on social media as much as we are, or using it in the way that we are.
Yeah, and it's not like, so your thoughts on Charlie Kirk dying are that, oh, this is a great way to fucking make more people be Christian. Like, I can utilize this.
Yeah.
I can use this to like somehow perpetuate my ideological fucking narrative that I want out there. And it's just like, dude, stop.
Yeah. So then this is what I responded with. So you don't admire my boldness, tenacity, perseverance anymore because I didn't join the masses of people using a person's death to further their political or ideological agenda. Yikes. I like to sit and process things before speaking. Seems like that's a skill many lack. I find it disrespectful to talk about somebody's death, blasting their name all over socials, and for what? To appease others? To give my 2 cents? Someone just lost their life, their husband, their dad, their best bud. How much more can we dehumanize the loss of another human? Sometimes not saying anything says everything. Respecting a life lost is more important to me than talking about it. Check yourself and don't throw Christianity in my face. So then their response after that was, God bless you, huge disappointment, but at the end of the day, who cares about my thoughts of what boldness and faith is? God will hold you accountable for whatever he deems necessary. God bless you, and I no longer will see you as a pillar of strength, but one in weakness and in spirit. Bless. And then they deleted the whole thread.
Can you imagine that you get up to heaven's gates and God is like,
because you didn't talk about this.
I would let you in, but you didn't post about Charlie Kirk's death the day after it happened, and we're not going to allow you to enjoy eternity in heaven because that was just fucked up.
That was so messed up.
Didn't you see how that was an opportunity to perpetuate Christianity? And you didn't take it?
I mean, it's so crazy. The audacity of some people, and how they want to push on things that they want others to do, or why don't you just go do it? How about go talk, go say what you want to say. Oh, nobody's listening to you? I wonder why.
Yeah, maybe because you have like super extremist views on how everyone else should think, and you just want them to be, and maybe oftentimes someone is right with where they're at and what they believe, but what they believe, is here, and what you believe is here, and they just expect you to go right here, like in one fell leap. Like, don't you understand everything? Like, and it's like, no, you had years of things happening and different influences and mentors and guidance, and things can't, like,
to finally get you to that point.
Yeah, so maybe like just reel people in just a little bit.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Like, you can't
expect people to
force
hop right
people
on board
to think the way you think.
Yeah. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem that I see in, like, when I find it just like with explaining something, like just like with my parents, for example, they have, like my dad has different like views on society and political views and everything than I have. And the gap of knowledge between us is so huge because I consume so much stuff on podcasts and social media, and all he does is, watch legacy news for a couple hours a day. And so, like, I'm like, you have no idea what's happening in this world. Like, you literally don't have a clue. I don't have a fucking clue. But, like, the gap between us is so huge. Like, there's so many things that have happened and so many, like, really drastic changes that have kind of come about with our generation, just as far as, like, economics of things, politics, like when we're going to have children, like everything's changed. And, like, the gap between you and some people is just so big that you just have to, the only way that you can ever get people really on your side is living by example.
Yeah, absolutely. And also building trust, right? Building trust with people so that they feel comfortable actually listening to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big one that a lot of people miss out on.
Yeah, and I don't feel like anyone will listen to you until you have the things that they want. I know it's certainly hard to listen to. I don't listen to people that don't have the life that I want. Like, I can't take advice from someone who's...
Oh, and I don't think we should.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody's criticizing, I wouldn't take criticism from somebody whose place I wouldn't want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And same thing with advice. I'm not going to take advice from somebody whose place I wouldn't want to be in.
Yeah, or hasn't, and unless it's really like they might have, like, not be in the place I want to be, but if they've already done the thing that I want to do or am now doing successfully, at some point in their life, I'll take some of their advice maybe, but yeah, no, it's definitely a prerequisite.
Yeah.
And so many of the people spewing bullshit and spewing opinions and being like, believe what I believe. It's like, you seem stressed, you seem anxious, you seem like you're freaking about what's happening in the world every single second of every single day. You seem like super politically extreme. Like, you have all these attributes that I don't want at all. I want to live at peace. Yeah. I don't give a shit about politics more than, I have to, or like a cursory interest. Like, I don't want any of that. I don't want to be stressed about what's happening in the entire rest of the fucking world all the time, every day. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's natural. Like, I don't even have control over my domain. Like, I want to make my world and the world of, like, the 50 people I love the most fucking awesome first. And I think that's...
Yeah, your ecosystem.
Yeah, make my ecosystem good. And I think if everyone just did that and stopped worrying about what everyone else was doing, the world would get better, like, rapidly. And
yeah, I agree. I think there's too many people that want to be the hero of what, I don't know, but they want to be a hero of something.
Yeah. Oh, and this just totally complete tangent, not related whatsoever. It just popped into my mind. I just want to take a second, even though this is probably a couple weeks late, and I'll already have made a social media post about it. We talked about on the last podcast starting a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And then Kelsey, because I was trepidatious about it and not actually doing it, my ex, Kelsey, started one for me because she was just really worried about everything I had going on. And we've raised over $10,000 of like the $20,000 so far. And I just want to extend like such an immense amount of gratitude out to everyone who's shared it and, contributed money and donated. And it's absolutely life-changing for me. Like I can't even believe how positive the response was and how like much it's brought me so much financial safety and just a moment's respite to get my self together and heal, and then also is going to allow me to get the treatments that I need to actually get my life back, because I don't have my life at all right now. I'm completely hindered in what I'm able to do, and it's been really, really hard. So just seeing that, like, to take a positive segue from people just getting politically assassinated, everyone really came together and
it's amazing.
Completely changed the trajectory of my life.
That's why there's help, so that people can receive it. And in order to give it, we got to be able to receive it.
Yeah, and it's so hard it's still like, even all the guys that I work with pooled together and raised a bunch of money for me and sent it to me, and they were just talking about it on the Discord at the meeting today, and I was thanking them, and like, it's still so hard for me. Like, I feel so embarrassed that I had to ask for help, and like, there's still like just an element of shame attached to it, because it is. I was talking to someone who wishes to remain anonymous, but they donated like the $5,000 of the money towards everything, made a huge donation, and
that's awesome.
I was talking to him about it, and he was saying how it is, it is admitting defeat. That's why it's hard. Like, you admit that you're not able to do it, but you just have to be, honest. If it's the truth, I'm defeated.
But is it defeated, or is it just a way of saying like, I guess it is in the way of saying I can't do it on my own, and I need the help and the support.
Yeah, it's an element of defeat.
I think it's also an opportunity to give people the chance to be a part of your story. Mm-hmm. And I think that is worth more thinking on versus thinking that you're being you're accepting defeat. I think it's because people want to help. People like to help. As like humans, we like helping. Even though some things that have happened since becoming injured, it makes you really question if people want to help or not. But but people do like helping, and they enjoy, especially when they see that their help is going to something that they'll be able to, not reap rewards from, but that they can like tangibly see where it's going to, and that they're that it's not that it's paying off, but essentially that it is paying off, or that they are helping somebody's life in the way that they actually see it. So the people, like your friends, the family, the anonymous person, like, they know you, and then they obviously want to see you get to the other side of the stuff that you're going through, and it gives them a chance to be a part of that. And I think that's more of a feeling to sit in versus the feeling of being shameful around just having to ask for it. Because like I said, people want to help, and they really enjoy doing that, especially those that can. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're completely right, because that's how I would feel. I would just, I literally, when I see, just someone on the side of the road that like seems to still have a light in their eyes and just looks like they're down bad in their luck, like, I'm like, I wish I was rich. I could give them, I just want to give away money. Yeah. I wish I could give them more. I wish I could give them $1,000 or $5,000 or some amount that actually moves the needle on being able to change their life. So I know you're right. It's just, it's hard to reframe it in my mind for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's the work. That's like just highlighting things that you just have to move through, and and give yourself grace moving through it, versus being hard on yourself and beating up about like, oh man, people are like, I can't believe. I mean, being very grateful and stuff, but at the same time, like I'm feeling this type of way because people are helping me, and in a way, it's also allowing, if we turn it back to our faith and stuff, it's allowing God to work through certain people to be able to help you. And so that's how we see God's work, right? Mm-hmm. Is through that help. It's like I think I told you the story about, the person that's drowning and these boats come by and, he refuses the help, right? Because he says, God's going to help me, right? And then he dies. And he's like, yo, I thought you were going to come save me. And God's like, I sent you 3 people and you just totally denied every single one. And now we're here, And so God works through certain people to help, to get us to where it is that we want to go to. And it's, it's okay to be receptive of it.
Yeah, it's made me tremendously, happier, and like I felt just way safer, I guess, just because I felt more alone before, and like just having so many people reach out. Yeah, and then also everything else fell into place right after. I couldn't find a doctor. I couldn't find anyone to help me. Yeah. And as soon as I did that, like on Monday, like I just got all the doctor's appointments I needed, at least for now, and like a bunch of things just kind of fell into place after I like.
Isn't that funny? Like the resistance, you like put down the wall of resistance, and then everything kind of like worked out.
Yeah, it immediately started working out better than it was working out before. That's for sure.
Yeah, and not to say it's a coincidence, but maybe in the sense of that, because that wall of resistance was down, and you didn't have that help was able to like flood through in different ways.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely felt that way.
Yeah,
and it just makes me like it. Also gave me just a lot of motivation, because now I feel like I'm kind of like doing it for an audience, and like that people are invested in me, and like because they made that investment, like even though I should, like nothing should motivate me to want to heal myself more than just wanting to be healed, but it does motivate me more, like because now I want to be able to say like, hey, you donated this money and now I'm healed, and it worked.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just if you've been following along and on the last couple of weeks, like update for me is went to the orthopedic surgeon, and it was kind of a bit of a like you're fucked scenario. Like both my femurs are snapped off completely at the femoral neck. There's no saving it, according to 2 orthopedic surgeons now that I've seen, and I can't get hip surgery because I'm paralyzed, and it will dislocate continually because there's not enough muscle there to hold the hip into place. So I just have to figure out how to heal as best I can, but essentially I'm just going to have snapped off femurs. That's the status as of now. That and apparently, which I was really shocked to learn yesterday, I learned this, is that tons of people live, not tons of people, but it's not, I supposedly will be able to stand and walk as best as I can walk, like in braces, and be able to do all of the things I was doing. FES bike, I'll be able to do those things eventually if I allow my body to heal right and don't lose range of motion and mobility. And yeah, so it's kind of good news, but also kind of ominous news of just there's nothing we can do about this. You just have to live with your femurs broken off for at least the foreseeable future. Yeah, I can imagine how.
On the bright side of things, it isn't as painful as what they said it is for able-bodied people, right?
Yeah, the perk of being paralyzed is I don't have to feel the full brunt of the pain. It's just a marginal increase in nerve pain, and like I have way worse back pain just because I haven't been able to move or do anything, but I should as time goes on and I'm able to get the treatments that I need. I still need electrical magnetic field therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, a bunch of targeted supplementation. You and I talked about peptides earlier, a targeted, well-designed peptide stack to help my body heal, crazy good nutrition, and lots of sleep and rest, and tons of physical therapy is looking like what's
in sunlight.
The protocol. And sunlight, yeah.
Yeah.
Always sunlight.
Yeah, I think in the coming weeks, we'll gather up a plan, and it's just a matter of sticking to it, and a lot of praying and just having faith and trust that the plan's gonna work.
Yeah, I mean that's my goal tomorrow, because I just had my last ditch effort doctor's appointment to get answers yesterday, and they just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, I don't have answers for you as far as like why are your bones breaking or anything like that. So tomorrow is going to be a full day of research on ChatGPT of like, I've got this money that was donated to me. What's going to be the way I can use this most effectively to heal my body? Originally, it was thought, and doctors told me that hyperbaric oxygen was going to be the only way to save that necrotic bone, but now I'm being told that it's not possible to save it, or it's going to die eventually anyways, and that that's might not be the most important. I don't know. I just have to figure out what's going to be what's going to move the needle the most on this healing, whether or not it's getting into immediate physical therapy, vibration stuff, or pulsed electrical magnetic field therapy, some PRP. I don't know. I got to figure out what to do, and I'm going to lean on ChatGPT because I don't have a doctor to really help me yet. I mean, I have you and your sis, and you guys have been tremendous in guiding me on what to do, and then I'm going to talk to our mutual doctor, Dr. Scott at Functional Metabolics, and an old functional medicine doctor I have, Dr. Hussein, Diana
the
Hussein,
village up.
And just see what their opinion is. And it's going to be a lot of work, but what else are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Sit and not do anything? I mean, you either do the work or, you sit and suffer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd rather suffer through the work than...
Oh, it was just the worst news that I've gotten in the last month is to just lay around and do nothing. I'm super relieved. That was really good news from the orthopedic surgeon, is that you don't have as many restrictions as they said. You probably shouldn't stand an FES spike, with the broken femurs yet, and the swollen leg and the hematomas and everything that's happened. But you actually need to keep everything moving and stuff inside there. Otherwise, it's going to get locked up because there's a bunch of new bone forming and a bunch of issues going on. But you actually need to progressively move more, which is like the best news I've ever heard. Because laying around...
Movement is medicine.
Yeah, laying around is the worst thing in the world.
It is. It's awful.
I thought I had 8 to 12 more weeks of that, but it looks like it's going to be a gradual ramp up in movement, which is super, super relieving.
Yeah. In these next few weeks, next several weeks, probably the next few months, several months, it'll just be a lot of, listening to the feedback your body gives you and tuning in and seeing how best you can optimize, moving forward.
I know. I don't like the feedback my body gives me when I go to stand. In between the last hospital visits was like, this is not good. Don't do this. And so I've eased back on it. And I don't understand how I can stand and move my legs around and how it's not an issue. I mean, how it's a issue that can be overcome with 2 broken off femurs. I just don't understand.
Right.
That's what 2 orthopedic surgeons have told me so far, but I just don't understand. My brain can't compute how you can stand and it not cause tremendous like trauma with broken off bones inside you. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had answers too.
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. I'll definitely film.
Time will tell.
I'll definitely film it just in case like my femur pops out the side of my leg or something.
Stop. Don't even. No, we're taking that back. Don't put that out there. Damn it. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens.
That we will. Should we call it an episode?
I think so.
We talked about political assassinations, and that was a good episode, I think. Oh, yeah. Goodbye.